Okay, great. Yeah, Firefox updated. I don't care, Firefox. Why do you have to make it about you all the time? Nobody thinks about you. You're an empty vessel for websites. If you update, do it on your own time. I don't know what it is about people. I feel like every other week someone is like late at work. They're like, yeah, my computer is downloading an update, so I'm going to stay a little late. I'm like, you didn't even come to my birthday, but you're willing to set aside the time to watch your computer do something that it doesn't need you to be present for? Is it true that people didn't show up to my birthday party? No, because I'd have to throw a birthday party. Oh, I did have a party in my mouth earlier. If you want to hear about that, I had an Oreo Reese's peanut butter Oreo. It doesn't really satiate any particular urge where I'm like, I really want an Oreo and I want peanut butter to be involved. These are like two completely separate urges for two completely different types of experiences. I actually don't even think they activate the same part of the brain, because the Reese's activates the peanut butter part of your brain and the Oreo satisfies the Oreo part of your brain. And then the little bit that's left over is for like language and stuff like that. The brain doesn't do anything else. So I have no idea what the hell neuroscience is still doing. It's just Reese's, Oreos, and Broca's area. I just looked that up and I found out something. Berkeley says for 150 years, the iconic Broca's area of the brain has been recognized as the command center for human speech, including vocalization. Now scientists at UC Berkeley and Johns Hopkins are challenging this long-held assumption, with new evidence that Broca's area actually switches off when we talk out loud. That explains a lot. Most of the things you hear are from someone who isn't having any thoughts, including me right now. It is interesting, though, if you think too hard about what to say, you won't be able to say anything. It's happening right now. Shit. Thanks a lot, Broca's area. This is a great first date question. If you could be lobotomized, which part of the brain are you giving up? You gotta lose one, folks, you gotta lose one. I mean, let's break it down. How many actual parts of the brain are there? Are you taking the cerebrum, responsible for thinking, learning, and emotion? What do you mean, responsible for thinking? Okay, so right off the bat, all I need for my brain is thinking. Okay, Brainstem connects the cerebrum to the spinal cord, controls breathing and heart rate. Yeah, I think that'd be really a tough one to part with. It does seem like when it comes to my brainstem and it's ride or die. Brainstem for life. Cerebellum located at the back of the brain. It coordinates movement and balance. I don't think I have that because I not good at moving and I can't balance, so that one doesn't apply. Midbrain auditory processing. I never have any idea what anyone's saying to me, so I don't think I have that one either. Hindbrain. That's the brain's ass. It has the cerebellum and brainstem. So those are the options. I think whatever part of the brain recognizes faces, I don't think I need that. Everyone is exactly the same to me, so if I'm talking to a baby, if I'm talking to the cops, my girlfriend, it's the exact same. Like, I don't need to know. I'm just responding in the moment, so it makes no difference. And I mean, come to think of it, I don't need to be recognized either. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who I am. All that matters is that I'm the host of this podcast, nobody else is. If there were another host of the podcast, I feel like I would know. Because every time I step away from the microphone, I set up dozens of mouse traps in a circular formation. Here's what annoyed me watching Oceans 11, 12, 13, 14, however high they got. I was like, if they just set up a bunch of mouse traps in this bank vault, it's over. They wouldn't be able to make the movie. There's nothing you can do. A room full of mouse traps? So I know nobody else is getting to the mic, of course. I don't know if you guys know, but I have Rush Limbaugh's golden microphone. Somebody just left it in a box on the side of the street, so I figured I might as well grab it. And I should have listened to the woman who came out of the bushes, who wouldn't tell me who she was, but she said I was cursed and if I kept the microphone, I was gonna become Rush Limbaugh. I was gonna pull a Santa Claus, I was gonna do a Tim Allen on that. But she said it would take a few years, so I don't know, I'm still just waiting for that day. Although I have noticed recently that I've been doing nothing but chain smoking cigars and thinking of ways to insult Chelsea Clinton. You know what, man? I would give anything to go back to when the only thing that was making me mad is when Chelsea Clinton was called a dog by Rush Limbaugh. I actually just double checked this to make sure that wasn't something that was made up. And Cora came up with, no, Rush Limbaugh didn't call 13-year-old Chelsea Clinton the White House dog. Chelsea was 12. So, good to just get the facts on that. I think the ideal afterlife for Rush Limbaugh, where everybody gets what they want, is just the grossest room at Mar-a-Lago. That seems like where Rush Limbaugh belongs. It seems like his element. It's like the cigar smoke is like calcified and it's become like load-bearing in the walls. There's this kind of dampness. And Rush Limbaugh is just sitting there in the darkness. It's a striking image. One that haunts me. Actually, everything I said must be wrong because no conservatives have ever said anything hateful about anyone who disagrees with them. Like, why do we have to have this stupid conversation? Why do we have to keep consulting this scoreboard? Like, politically motivated murder is a sport, and we're all, like, checking up on our fantasy teams. It's like, you gain nothing by your team winning. You get nothing. You're being endlessly baited. It's been a frustrating week because of this. Because it's never been more important to try to shake people out of this. There's never been a particular juncture where, like, this type of divide is so central to everything that's happening. It's allowing all of this other stuff to fall in. It's kind of like the earth opening up in a chasm, and all of this stuff just gets sucked into it, and it'll keep getting sucked into it for as long as it remains open. The collective attention of everyone on the planet is the most powerful weapon that exists. So to subvert that, the easiest way would be to break that up and point it in all these different directions so that it can't really steer the boat in any particular direction. Instead, that's been taken over by like a few guys who've successfully developed tactics to prevent anyone from figuring out that that's what's happening. The reason you can tell that's what's happening is because of the effects it has produced. The environment you're in looks like that. And if you're willing to look not even that closely, that is how the power is structured. It's just powered by whoever can hold your attention. Because your attention is basically like a superpower that they don't want you to know is a superpower. Because you'll notice this every time there's a shooter. The details and so-called facts of the case are always strung out, much of it often conflicting for no apparent reason that anyone can ever determine, but it's teased out at the perfect rhythm of our collective attention cycle. So you give both sides like 12 hours to enjoy the validation of believing whatever they believe, and further entrenching their resentment of the other side. And then we just forget about it eventually. We move on to the next unnecessarily horrible, traumatizing event that pulls us apart in some new horrific way that we didn't even know was possible. It's kind of an interesting pattern that seems to be unfolding. It's really interesting. Sorry, I lost focus. I was looking at Twitter. I know that's ironic. Okay, I get that. It's hard to know the truth, but there is kind of a little bit of a shortcut. This is the one plus you get to the digital age, is that if you're saying something and you're censored by an authority, then what you're saying is probably worth looking into. And by censored, I don't mean swarmed by woke people or conservatives online who endlessly harass you and cancel you. That's not the same as being censored. That's actually just free speech working as it's supposed to. That's majority rules. I don't know if the majority is right or wrong, but that's just the dynamics of how it works. But when I say censored, I mean shut down completely, either by the government or big corporation or social media or something, which does not work closely with the government to censor people. I asked Grok and it said that. Because the misinformation thing is what complicates this. Because yeah, misinformation is a serious problem on the internet, but you can, if it's misinformation, then it follows you can counter it with facts that are backed up by something. If you're censoring someone, you're admitting you don't have any facts to correct said misinformation. If you did, you would come forth with those. So censoring must have to be like an absolute last resort. I also don't mean saying obviously horrible, hateful things, like calling people like racial slurs and stuff. Like, no, obviously that should be moderated. That's not what I'm talking about. No one's on the phone lines, so it's probably because I'm being censored for speaking the truth. And I gotta tell you, like, I hate to rain on your parade, but wrestling isn't real. You can't just punch people. They would die. You ever punch somebody? They die instantly. In wrestling, every time a guy gets hit, they quickly cycle in a new guy who has the corresponding wound, but they do it so fast you don't notice. So you think it's the same guy getting hit over and over. John Cena, he's been cloned like thousands of times. He doesn't even remember who he is. That would be a fun conspiracy to believe in. Wrestling isn't real. But wait, it's not real in a way that's stupid and confusing. Yeah, so there's no one on the phones, and there's no ads, there's no sponsors. So it's just fucking over. It's just fucking over for the podcast. So as a last-ditch effort, I decided to start a telethon. I mean, there's no other worthy cause to donate to right now. There's no other humanitarian disasters. The world is flush with cash, but I'm not. The only flushing I'm doing with cash is down the toilet, because it's just fun to see it go down. Maybe that's why I'm having financial problems. We're taking donations of upwards of $750. Anything below that will not be accepted. If you call in and say, look, I only have $749 to scrounge together this week, is this enough? We will curse you and your genetic line and say, why don't you find someone else to disappoint today? If you donate $1,000 today, and I'm willing to make this commitment, if you give me 1,000 big ones, I will drive by your house. I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not stopping, but I will find you and I will drive by one time. $1,500? Yeah. That's not enough to earn another thing. 2,000? Now 2,000? If you have a child, I will come to their soccer game, their clarinet recital, whatever, in your stead. I just need a picture of you and some of your hair so I can make a convincing wig. Your kid won't know the difference. Like, they don't know who people are. They're like, is that my dad? Who cares? I'll get in his vehicle. They shouldn't do it. It's bad that it's like this. They haven't fully developed the facial recognition part of the brain yet. So for 2,000, I will do that. Not pick your kid up in a vehicle. I mean, I'll go to their thing. And if anybody thinks it's weird that I'm there and ask me whose kid is supposed to be mine, this is why you need to send me a picture of your kid. And I realize now, like, this is starting to get weird. I'm starting to rethink what I'm willing to commit to here. So I'll do that for 5,000. And 10,000? 10,000 here, I will get married to you. I'll let you know what I look like. Okay, I don't know about that. I mean the price. 20,000, I'll do that. 20,000, I will marry you. And we'll have an okay life together. I mean, I'm not going to promise anything. I don't know how it's going to turn out for us, but I believe in us. Okay. So it probably is worth noting that no one's called yet. So, gotta fill that time, gotta fill these seconds, gotta fill these minutes, gotta fill these days of ours, these days of our lives. I like the names of shows that are just incredibly open-ended like that. It's like Days of Our Lives, that could be literally about anything at all. Days of Our Lives could have started in season 1 as like people who just live across the street from each other and they just happen to know each other. And by season 78, they're all vampires. They all got turned into vampires. In completely unrelated subplots, they all independently became vampires. Like, for all I know, that's what Days of Our Lives is about. Oh, it looks like one of the lines are lighting up. I'll go ahead and speak with our first donor. Hello, this is the Purgatory Podcast Telethon. Please save our asses. What do you have for me?
Hello, I'd like to speak to your customer satisfaction department. I would like to be satisfied immediately.
I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong number. This is the Purgatory Podcast Telethon. Are you willing to give today to a good cause?
Yeah, I know who you people are. You guys sold me tents that went bad.
No. How could you possibly think that after what I just said? Do you know what a telethon is?
No, you're the company that sold me those moldy, smelly tents, aren't you?
I didn't sell you tents that are moldy or smelly.
My kids got asthma from that shit, man.
Is that how you get asthma?
Well, it's certainly not how you get a positive review on Google.
Look, do you have $750?
What, like to borrow?
I mean, I don't know if I should really be thinking about incurring more debt, considering the financial shape the podcast is in. Some people recently said they saw me standing in a giant wooden barrel full of water, just taking a bath in there like I'm Daffy Duck or Elmer Fudd, whichever one is more inclined to do that kind of thing. Because that's what it's down to now, you know?
Wow. Well, I didn't know it was that bad. Luckily for you, I got in early on Chipotle. I invested hard and I invested early because I believed in the idea of just, standard Mexican-American fast food. I will invest 20,000 of God's dollars in your company if I can get you to commit to sending me good tents, ones that aren't stinky like my old Aunt Margaret's sweaters.
I don't have a company. I have a podcast. We're not an LLC. We're free, baby. We're not wearing pants. Legally speaking, we have no pants on.
Alright, well, legally speaking, that's illegal.
You sound like a fascist right now, which is exactly the type who always makes good on their promises. I hope to see that 20,000 coming in my account in the next hour. Something did dawn on me.
What's that?
Well, I have to marry you.
What do you mean, what?
You know what, never mind. We're good. So the wedding is off. Thank you so much. I'm putting in the numbers now, and actually, our shortfall wasn't quite as severe as the forecast indicated. According to my calculations, that'll get us through for at least the next 100 years, because the podcast is uploaded and distributed at no cost to me at all. So that's good news. It was free the whole time. I think I just committed fraud. They always talk about how bad it is to do fraud, but what they don't tell you is that at the end of doing it, you have $20,000. Really, we're getting a one-sided take on fraud. So now I have to bring out Slurp on Lipstick. He's the host of Time Check. He comes out here, he says what time it is, and we all just pretend that it means anything, and that it's not a complete waste of all of our time, and essentially kind of a national embarrassment at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Slurp on Lipstick, the host of Time Check. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for showing up. My name is, of course, Slurp Von Lipstick. There's no way you could think I have a different name. You can never possibly confuse my name with the name of another celebrity. And I feel confident in using the word another in that sentence, because of course my own profile has been on the rise. I was recently involved in the production of a commercial for clocks, a commercial advertising the existence of clocks. A bunch of guys were giggling the whole time, saying, yeah, we're making a commercial about clocks, and they always laughed when they said it, and they seemed fun-loving and mirthful. I met them at Rainforest Cafe. My big break in Hollywood has made me realize that what I do It was a service to mankind. And I will tell you that recently it just became 1:01 a.m. That's 101 a.m. That means 101 minutes have passed since midnight, right? If it's not the case, then why isn't that how it works? Sorry, the phone's ringing. Hello, this is the Timeline. What can I do for you today?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. We just wanted to donate a few bucks to the Purgatory Podcast Telethon. We gotta. Do you want me to tell you how many bucks we're gonna donate?
I think the telethon is over because we figured out we don't need the money.
Oh. I was thinking of sending 69 bucks your way. You want $69? It's actually $69.420.
So it'd actually be $73.20.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Fucking nerd.
Wait, who are you?
Hey, we're just a few guys hanging out at a Rainforest Cafe.
Okay. I guess you just Venmo me. Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll Venmo you. See you later.
Great. Oh, it just came through. $73.20. What a nice bunch of guys. They really came through. I've been Slurp on Lipstick. If you didn't like this episode of Time Check, that's a failing on my part. It has nothing to do with you as a person. You're perfect. I'm flawed. Or my name's not Slurp on Lipstick. Thank you so much for listening to Time Check. Give it up for Slurp on Lipstick. That was Time Check. It's what we all want at a time check. It has the time and it has a guy checking it. Really the only two components necessary. The two elements in that engine. It's a perfectly functioning machine. The question is this a machine you want to get into? It's like, who was the first guy to go inside of a car? It's like I'm being propelled across the earth at a rate of speed that few humans have ever experienced. But don't panic. It's all being made possible by millions of little explosions. What could possibly go wrong? It's just millions of explosions. Your car can just explode. Seems dumb. You would think that would be one of the top priorities in making cars. We figured out how to put Siri in a car before we figured out how to stop making them explode. Which resulted in an unfortunate glitch where you say, Siri, make my car explode. There's like a 1 in 10,000 chance that'll work, and they're looking into why. And if you're listening to this in your car, I'm sorry about that. I figured I'd fill time on the podcast by just saying that I'm sorry, just in general. Just a blanket sorry. I'm sorry if I ever defrauded anyone out of 20,000 big ones. Even though they sound richer than Bridgerton. Is Bridgerton a person? Who cares? That seems like something you could piss off your girlfriend with so easily if you keep saying like, oh, that guy's richer than Bridgerton. She's like, stop saying that. I'm sorry if I ever called anybody like Pipsqueak or whatever. I've been on Santa's good list every single year. But it's kind of bullshit because this year I heard that you have to pledge your support for Israel. I don't know if I'm willing to commit to that. This seems kind of odd. I could be doing nicer things. I'm just not putting myself in enough positions where I can do something nice. I think if I hold the door open for people enough times, if I do that over the course of one lifetime, that'll add up to like donating an organ to someone. So I think it'll be fine. This is why I keep going to Panera, because it gives me opportunities to hold the door open for people. I went in there today and they're like, we don't have regular cream cheese. We have the sweet cream cheese for your bagel. And I'm like, that's fine, I guess. It's like honey walnut or something. It's so odd to have like 2 cream cheese options and one is just like standard issue, like military grade cream cheese. And then your other option is like this exotic excursion in a land of flavor. There's so much going on. It's sweet, it's salty. It adds a completely different dimension to the bagel. It's like, how did you get all the way to there? You skipped over like chives. And then to be out of normal cream cheese and only have the weird cream cheese seems a puzzling occurrence. It seems it could only happen due to, like, rare astrological alignments. That's the only way I can explain this. It's the cream cheese equivalent of going to a restaurant and they're like, all we have is water and strawberry fresca and we're out of water. It sounds vaguely like a threat when you word it like that. Or it's like saying, oh, we have Doritos Cool Ranch, and we have Doritos Mountain Dew Fajita Gordito Blast. Nacho cheesier? We do not speak its name here. It's like, I gotta get out of this place. These people, there's a cult-like mentality here surrounding these Doritos. I have to level with you, there were two phases to my life. There was a phase where I thought I liked Cool Ranch, and then the phase where I realized that Nacho Cheesier was always the superior Dorito. It was there the whole time right under my nose. All that I can say to defend myself is that when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things, and instead I started putting cheesy chips in my mouth. It's all a part of growing up. And this podcast is all grown up, and now it's about to pass away. Okay, I gotta work on the outros to these. Podcast is over. Stop. Do I have to say stop? Do we still have to do that? If you want to get this podcast over Telegram, we're still doing that through Western Union. And if you're getting it the more modern way, put me on your speaker. Put me on speaker. Am I on speaker? Siri, stop. Alright, we'll see you later.